pleasure for coming
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you so much for joining me.
So, Florez, how are you?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
How are you, sir? How are you doing this talk show so far?
Doing very well. A lot of interesting presentation, I have to say. I learned a lot. And I see that there is also a lot of correlation between all these industries, Puma or sustainability, etc. So I think it's very interesting. And I think we're going to discuss quality control with Tissot, and you're going to have also some interesting insights to have. Yeah.
Could you please tell us about yourself a bit more?
Yeah, so my name is Andrea, obviously. I got born in Neuchâtel. I did my study there, or in the region, let's say. So I studied digital media engineering. Then I started my professional career first in tourism, actually in Montreux tourism office, which is close to here. I was handling the website. And then I traveled a bit in Australia, in America. And then when I came back, I got hired by a watch company. So I started my journey within the watch industry, taking care of digital activities. Then I moved a bit, ending at Tissot. But we can see that this industry evolved a lot. I think it was, was we talking about technologies? I think regarding the industries, I think the watch industry had the same problem. They were a bit like late compared to other industries, like maybe luxury industries, fashion industries. And yeah, so I came at the right point to make it grow, and it's an exciting journey. Yeah.
No, that's amazing. So you've been working as a marketing professional, and why is quality control important? And how is it important? And how does your company create an environment around to basically maintain that?
I think it's very important in the whole customer journey, I would say. So it's important when you need to, let's say, we take an example of the website, okay? So we're going to have a visitor coming on the website. You need, so they gather information. So you need to give them information about the product, about, so images, for example, where they can buy the products, things like this. So it's important that you provide all the assets, all the information for the customer. So you need to have high standard in terms of quality. Then you have all the whole experience of buying, can be online or can be in a store, same thing. They're going to ask questions, they're going to have say need a recommendation, let's say. And then you have the after sale process. So you have the watch in your hand, but if you have an issue with the watch, what's going to happen? So this is part of the whole journey, and you need to have quality control at each step to ensure that the whole experience is good for the customer at the end.
Absolutely.
So, excuse me, following up, as the year almost changes, we're almost at the end of the 2022 year, we're moving on to the year 2023. Do you say there's, first of all, a standard that you have for quality control, and how is it going to improve from this year to the next upcoming year?
I think it's a never-ending process, so it's always evolving. So I cannot say like in 2023 we're going to have this, but of course the world is changing, so we need to take into account a lot of things. I was talking about, for example, the website. Let's say during the pandemic, it was a hard time because some of the stores were closed, so we had to put a lot of effort on the website. So we put in place, for example, the live chat in US on our US website. Now we have a lot, we saw with the presentation that sustainability is very important, and that's also the next thing we're gonna improve. So we already did some improvement in terms of sustainability on how we produce how we're gonna produce the watches, or it can be the packaging of the watches, because I guess that you all seen some of the watch box, but they are very heavy, not only for Tissot, but I mean for the whole watch industry. It's very heavy. Sometimes it's wood or plastic, and some of the companies, the watch companies, they want to move from this and have a sustainable watch box. So that's something we already did this year, and yes, next year we're gonna continue to improve the process, to improve the quality control of all those 3 steps, as I said, of the watch journey, and we need to always continue that. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much for your insight. Any question, Amanda?
Definitely. So what is one of the most essential controls in quality? And Do you think it's process control or the product or the service control itself?
It's a good question. I think for a watch brand, you cannot really select one of them because all of them are important. We are like a company with a lot of industry behind because you need to produce the hands of the watch, the sapphire glass, the movement. So all these process control are very important to ensure that you get the pieces in you meet the deadline, let's say, you can improve the way the industry process works. So it's very important. The product itself, you can always improve the product. You have, let's say, you can change the material to have a better quality, how to say, like, it can be like steel or something else, gold. So you try to improve the quality of the product. And also the customer care is very important because so services, let's say, it's very important because it's the opinion you're going to have about the brand. Of course, the product is important, but if you check all the famous brands right now, they are famous because of their image and their reputation, which is not always based on the product itself. If you take, I don't know, like Gucci, for example. So yeah, that's very important, and I cannot really say one is more important than another one. You need to have checklists for all of the three steps here.
Okay, interesting. But between both of industries, so here we're, of course, hospitality students, we're going to be working in hotels, restaurants, and whatnot. Is there any correlation between, well, the watch industry itself and the hospitality industry in regards to quality control? So it's the same process itself, or do you think there's probably nuances between one to the other?
I would say at least the goal is the same, is to please the customer. So that's for sure. I think if you take the hotel industry or tourism industry and the watch industry or luxurious industry, at the end, what's the most important is the customer satisfaction. So of course, in our case, we have a product, but at the end, we want our customer to be very proud to have the watch and to also have repeat business. So they repurchase another watch or they offer the watch to someone else. So I think one of the important things maybe that we have now in correlation between the two industries, because traditionally the watch industry, it's like a B2B to C industry. So we were selling watches to a retailer that is selling the watch to the end consumer. But this kind of process changed recently because with the digitalization, we have direct access to the end consumer. So we get a lot of feedback from the customer, which we didn't have in the past, which is close to, let's say you take booking. So everybody's listening, reading the comments about how is the experience. And now with social media, for us, is the same. So we're going to have someone who buy a watch. If it's not working, we're going to tell everyone that the watch is not working. So we need to pay attention. We need to check what's the brand reputation on social media channel, on forums, or we also send sometimes surveys to ensure that the quality of the experience is good and that the customer is happy with his purchase. Yeah.
Definitely. Just another question regarding your position, because you're like a marketing manager, so you're in like the high position of the board. Would you say there's like a specific standard or like a procedure that you follow when you're deciding or revising regarding like the quality controls? The standard.
It's hard to say. I would say, of course, we have guidelines which we need to respect. But it's more like it's also within the company culture. So in all our daily tasks, we need to think about this. Like when we do, for example, I do a marketing campaign. We need to ensure that we use the right assets, that the quality of the assets are let's say, high enough, that the texts we are using are well translated in all languages, because it doesn't make sense, for example, to show an ad in English where if you live in France or whatsoever. So you need to check all these things for when you do marketing campaigns. And you also need to ensure that you're going to target the right person. So you need to send the appropriate message to at the right moment to the right person. So this will help to ensure that the customer will not feel like it's I don't know, it's intrusive ad, you know, so it's more like it's more natural, let's say.
Absolutely. Well, that definitely answered my question. How about you, Victor? Do you have
I have one additional question, maybe even two additional questions for you. Is there any training or program that's implemented within your company culture that will always factor this quality control? What do you bring up to the other employees itself? What do they need to know?
So actually at Tissot, the first thing you do when you arrive, you have an online training program, which is called Tissot Academy, where you learn about the brand, about the product collection, about the history, about the mission value, the objective of the brand, etc., etc., which is, I would say, quite heavy, but everybody has to do this online training to ensure that we have the that all the employees have the company values inside their head. And when they complete this online training, they get their certification. They have to repeat it. I think it's like every 2 years, if I'm not wrong. And of course, the training is always updated with new content. So you don't learn the same thing always, but you try to learn new things. It's very interesting, and I think it's something that helps to first to help the new employee to succeed in his mission, because he will know a lot about the brand, and it will also help the brand to ensure that all the values are well spread into the whole company. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And for just my final question, you were talking, well, marketing manager, of course. Initial question: what makes a successful marketing campaign?
That's a very good question, because we don't have always to look at sales, I would say. That's maybe at least within our industry, because we are sold in a lot of retailers' places. When you do a campaign, you're not going to have the result directly, because it's an expensive product. People need to think about it. It's not like you're going to buy I don't know, like candies. So you buy it directly when you see it, because you say, I want to eat a candy, so I'm going to buy it. But what is important is to ensure that the customer that we try to target react to the ad. So they can react by clicking on the ads, they can also like the ad, or they can explore the website. We have a lot of analytics data when they go on the website. We know, for example, how much time they spent on the pages. Do they put the watch on the basket, or things like this? So we need to ensure that, let's say we do a YouTube campaign, that we have a viewability rate which is high. That's the kind of KPI that we can look at it to ensure that the campaign is well done. And with digital right now, you can always optimize. So you can change what you're doing. You can do A/B testing. You can have two visuals and say, okay, this one is performing better, so I'm gonna turn off the first one and I'll continue on with the new visuals, for example. So that's the kind of thing we can do right now, and that helps to ensure that the campaign is a success. Yeah.
Amazing insights. Thank you very much, sir. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we'll have to end the talk now. Oh, no, never mind. So we do have time. Never mind, miscommunication. We'll be taking a question from the audience, if you please, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone would like to have a question? Yes, miss.
My what, sorry?
your typical day at work?
Day at work. But first, I always drink a coffee when I arrive, because I need to wake up. But I would say one of the first things I do is to check first all the digital channels that I handle. So I'm ensuring that the website is not down. We need to ensure that it's working well and that people can buy the watch. Same thing with social media channels. So I'm checking that everything is working properly. And we have a lot of subsidiaries in all the North America, Europe, and Asia. So we are in direct contact with them. So we try to help them to sell more, to not only sell, but to support them with their question. We try to make the brand grow. So yeah, at the end, it's a lot of operational tasks. But it's always new at the end, because when you work in digital, there is already a new thing to try. You can say, okay, today I'm going to try a Twitch campaign, because before we were not doing it, or we can try TikTok campaigns. So there is a lot of new challenges. It's always a new day and new things to learn, I would say. Yeah.
Right. Any more questions from the, yes, Mr. Toppin?
You briefly mentioned that nowadays it's easier because you got straight to the customer, but I think a lot of us still, especially watching go to the store, which is not so.
Yeah.
How do you ensure the quality of the product?
Yeah, it's very good question. So I don't know all the aspects because I'm not taking care of that. But what we ensure, at least, for example, if you take the retailer's website, because they're gonna sell our watches on their website as well. What we do is first we do trainings on how we want that product needs, how they should look like on their website. We provide them all the assets. We provide them all the information, videos, and everything. If they ask us something, for example, I don't know, I need like a banner to put on the website, we're gonna produce it. So we try to give them support. We do guidelines, which we send to the retailers. So they have it on the website. We do also, I know with the sales staff, we do trainings as well. So that's how we do, and we do checkings, of course. We also have what we call a check and reserve program. So when you go on our website, our own website, you can reserve a watch in a store. Let's say you are here in Montreux, sorry, not Montreux, in Les Uns, but you can book, for example, a watch in Les Uns, in a store. You can go there, and we know it because you reserve the watch through our website. So we can send them a survey and ask, how was your experience? Are you happy? Did you buy the watch or not? So this is the kind of metrics that we can follow to ensure that the experience is well done. But of course, it's not super easy. We cannot control everything, but we try to improve as much as we can. Yeah.
Perfect. Any more questions?
No questions, anyone? So, yes, excuse me.
Is there anything you are certain you're doing better than your competitors?
Swearing under the bus.
Very good question. It's hard to answer because I don't know exactly what's going on. I mean, I can see some things. I can see like the number of followers you have on social media, these kind of things. But I believe one of the things we do better than competitors is that I would say we have, for example, if I take the website, we have more e-commerce website than almost any brand. So I mean, Swiss watch brand, I would say. So we are open in 28 markets, which is a lot. So more than, for example, if you take Rolex, they don't have any e-commerce anywhere. So in that aspect, I think we are better. I think we give a lot of payment methods, shipping methods for the customer, so they can decide what they want to, how they want to pay online. For example, as I said, we have the check and reserve, which I don't believe that most of our competitors have. So because the kind of things we hear about buying a watch online is that if you cannot touch it, you're unsure. So we try to give the possibility to the customer to go in a store, see the watch. He doesn't have to buy it. If he doesn't want to buy it, he can come back home. So we try to give as much as I don't know how to say in English, but confidence for the customer before he buys. We also provide 30 days to try out the watch before giving it back. So that's the kind of thing I think we let's say we go further than our competitors. Yeah. Yeah.
doing much better than us. Only for one thing is because they have more humans. And I think the important thing to have high standards is to have also humans which got money.
Yeah, but that's obviously that's for sure. Yeah.
Da da da